I didn't realize the map was bigger than I originally thought. There's 2 parts I unlocked right now. I'm across like a lake where I guess it was ground zero for whatever happened. I guess the Death Stranding happened. You see the US map, and there's in like Tornado Alley where it was like Iowa, Illinois, all that shit. There's like giant fucking holes in that section of the map, and I guess they're all lakes now. I crossed the boat to get to the other side of the states, and I'm there right now, and there's no... I just got the bike. In the beginning, like, I had to hoof it pretty much everywhere. Thank God they didn't give me, like, a lot of deliveries, because it would have sucked just to, like, walk all this way and be, like, slightly over encumbered, because that would just take a long time. Plus, I got a power skeleton on, which helps me just fucking carry everything. So the more I carry and the more I sprint, the more the battery is drained, and I'm trying really hard not to fucking drain it all. There's no generators, pretty much. Like, once you first get to an area, there's no, like... the online part is inactive, so there's no other structures that anybody made. Like, if there's a random generator out there that would help me out, like, there's none of that. I have to, like, plan accordingly until I actually get to my destination, and then everything starts to pop up. Once you unlock it in your story, you start to see them from everybody else. It gets kind of there was a part I got frustrated at where I had to go through the woods, and I was way over encumbered, so I had my bike with me, and the woods was, like, at a stupid incline, so it was so rocky, so I couldn't just fucking drive through. Plus there were like BTs in the area, so I had to be extra careful. I had to leave my bike out, go on foot to the facility inside the fucking woods, and then make 2 trips. And that was fucking stressful, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can enter a room to like rest and shit. I haven't entered a room in a while, and like fucking Sam's fatigue was going to me. Like, goddamn, man, let me just take a break. Let me just sit down really quick. Fuck. My calves are burning. Yeah, Death Stranding is fucking awesome. Like, I know I keep thinking back to when people first play it, saying, like, this game isn't for me, but I get it. Like, I think this is my game. It's a lot of back and forth, but it's worth it in the end. Plus, like, I'm already in love because it's Kojima. So it's like I have a personal bias already.
That's good.
A little bit in. Yeah, I've also been watching Shogun with my parents, and it's a pretty good show. It's a lot of back and forth shit talking to each other that they don't know what they're saying to each other. So it's funny in that part because like they make it comedic like that, but then it also tells history, which is also pretty good in a digestible way. You know, like where you're not getting so bored of it. I'm not gonna lie, it was a slow burn first episode because there was a lot of exposition, there was a lot of talking, but when it got going, it's like you don't know where this guy's gonna go because he looks like a pirate, dude. He talks like a pirate. He acts like a pirate. His book tells of his piracy, but he swears he's not a pirate. And I'm like, all right, man. Like, that's
rule number 1 about being a pirate.
Yeah, that's cool, I guess. And you're stuck in Japan territory, and they all realize that you're a pirate now. It's cool because like they could look past it, and that's where I'm at right now. Like the Portuguese, they don't want him to fucking meet the Japanese because of some shit in the story. I don't want to like get into it too much, just in case like you're gonna watch it or something. There's like 3 main, I guess players. There's the Japanese, the Shogunate, the Portuguese, the Catholic Church, and then you got fucking the main character Pilot, which is the pirate. Pilot the pirate. He's an Englishman from the UK, and I guess he's
like the William character, right?
Yeah. You know what? Yes, I can see now where Neo was like inspired by this. This is definitely Neo without all like the demons and the what do they call it, Tenju or something? I don't know. But like, yeah, it's a good time. Kind of wish Danny was here so we could talk about it with the novel. But like, if the novels is like this, I'm sure he's gonna have a good time with it because it's really about that weeb shit that we like.
Yeah, I'm super into that. When it comes down to it, as we get older, there's going to be a point where we're more inclined to learning more about like historical like events, and I think like this kind of goes hand in hand with a little bit of both of what you wanted, where it's like it talks about historical events in a fictional setting. You know, altogether that really speaks to me and to like a lot of people. I feel like from our generation right now, right? Because we're always about like, well, as far as we've been cultivated since we were kids, you know, we were always into like, you know, a lot of like Japanese culture, like from anime and stuff like that. So this, I feel like this kind of makes sense, you know. Kind of gets into like I would say like not really the feudal era because that's still like way before that, but like the imperial era, you know, like we're basically the last dynasties of the emperor before, you know, the outside influences, like the Western influence came through, and it was just like, nah, we're gonna end the dynasty, you know. This is like just everything leading up to that, I think.
The guy's name is John Blackthorne.
The main character, pilot.
Yeah. Oh, they call him Anjin, which is pilot. I think just because he knows how to navigate a ship and move it. I guess move a ship. Is that the fucking right term? I don't care. It's like everything you said. Like now that we're older, we're getting our tastes are becoming more mature. Like you can keep all the hockey and you can keep the fucking. I'm trying to think of a stupid anime fucking sword slash move, but like yeah, like anything like that, like a Getsuga Tensho, you can keep that. Just give me like the history for this one, and keep it tight, you know, keep it within the history boundaries, which is like where it's believable, even though it's like fiction, I think, because it's based on the Tokugawa shogunate, so it's like this is kind of like. It's been talked about a lot, you know, within like all the shit we've been reading with anime and all the TV we've been watching, like the Shogunate. Some of us have gotten deeper into that, which is like not much of a mystery to them anymore. But for like most of us lame brains, we just mostly hear the name and we're like, ooh. So this is like a good look into like the power struggle of the Shogunate with when the emperor felt the power of the emperor was like waning. So it tells a good story, for sure. John Blackthorne sounds like a fucking pirate. That in the fucking Japanese just makes me think like One Piece for some reason. So I'm already in love. Like, ooh, this guy's a pirate, and this is Japan. Oh man, where's the One Piece? Monkey D. PP is back in section, dude.
Tale as old as time, my friend. Just tale of men with ambitions, you know.
Yeah.
People from the shogunate or clans, you know, leaders, things like that, and they're just like, I want a piece of the pie, you know. I don't want to just work. I don't want to just like serve the emperor. I want to be the emperor.
Exactly.
You know? This was around that time where they were doing the, you know, basically like their civil wars.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
I think don't hold me to it, bro. But I think that this is after Nobunaga Oda. This might be after.
Was he emperor or was he shogun? Because I think the shogunate came after the emperor. Because like Japan was too big to rule, so then they split it into like kingdoms.
It was split into clans. So this is kind of where I'm taking my historical fiction from like games like Samurai Showdown.
Yep.
Not Samurai Showdown, Samurai Warriors. They used to go really into a lot into like the feudal eras, and that part I feel like they do keep accurate to an extent, because they talk about like again like the different clans, like I don't know them all by heart, but like the Honda clan, the Iga clan, there's the Oda clan, and you know like others, and then again basically like just which factions were working for which clan, trying to serve and make sure one can basically unite feudal Japan into just one congruent nation. And so Oda was successful at this, but then he died. So I would say like he didn't last very long once he did this. And his I don't know if it was his retainer, but basically like his right-hand man was the one that ended up betraying him. There was, I remember, a huge fire. They set his whole thing on fire, which I'm not sure if was the Emperor's castle at the time, but I think it was probably just Oda's castle. Anyway, this is probably like just some side stuff. But yeah, I like to think that this is not 1-to-1, but super close to it. It also makes me think of the game that's coming out soon from Team Ninja, Rise of the Ronin. It's coming out this month. I think the same day as Dragon's Dogma, March 22nd. I'm going to try to get them both at the same time.
I was about to say, who's going to shadow who? One of those games, both of those games are pretty, like, everybody's waiting for them, so who's going to, like, games come out at the same time on the same day, even, like, it's kind of like, it's going to be a battle of who's it's going to be.
I honestly think Dragon's Dogma 2 is probably going to win.
Yeah.
Only because when Dragon's Dogma first came out, no one was really, like, following that. But it has such a cult following over these last... I don't even remember when it came out. Like, fucking 10, 12 years ago, you know? And since then, it's definitely had a lot more following. So I don't doubt that game's definitely gonna sell some units for sure. How would you say your career is overall in Helldivers since the beginning, from when you bought the game to where you're at now?
My love for democracy hasn't waned one bit, if that's what you're asking. I have been trying to liberate where I've been told to liberate, trying to defend where I've been told to defend. I bought all the stratagems. I'm just working on the modules, and I don't see myself stopping, especially if they bring in the new enemy type.
Right, the Illuminids?
Yeah.
I was actually watching a video on that yesterday where some character models were leaked for the Illuminids. And I guess there's going to be like some sort of like continuation from Helldivers 1 in regards to this race specifically. From what I saw in the video, they were talking about how the Illuminids, they were like a military faction. So like the automatons, they had like weapons and stuff like that. But in Helldivers 1, we managed to basically give them the boot, and we basically evicted them from our super solar system. We took all of their weapons, basically de-weaponized them, and ended up incorporating some of that technology into ours. Now the kicker is, when they come back, supposedly they're not going to have all these weapons that they did in Helldivers 1. There's probably going to be some that have like powers, you know what I mean? But like for the most part, we're probably set to get like just a lot of grunts and, you know, some like, I would say like guerrilla fighters or something like that. So I can already tell like they're already buffing these guys up to be super hard, and I'm kind of with it, dude. I'm super with it.
Bring it on.
One thing that's gonna change the way that the whole game is too. They were talking about the cover art, right?
Yeah.
For the game. If you haven't ever paid attention, if you look really close in the box art for the game, there are actually flying enemies. They talked about the flying enemies from the Terminids, the bugs. It's called like a dragonfly.
Hell no.
Dude, they leaked the model for the dragonfly. This thing is fucking huge, bro. It's so huge, dude, and it flies, bro. I'm not ready, dude. It's gonna change the whole aspect of this freaking game already.
Honestly. Fuck, man.
Thank God they got these mechs.
Fucking flying enemies, dude. Here we go.
They're gonna be...
I'm like, they better look... they're gonna look fucking ugly, so I'm already gonna be like... If they look like cockroaches, man, man. Flamethrower every time. I don't care, man. I need these things to burn and suffer.
They all just remind me of the demon from Spawn, the little maw, like the main bad guy, or when that clown turns into a demon too.
Oh, really? Okay. Ew.
Their face reminds me of that, but like the rest of their body's still all like insectoid and stuff like that.
I mean, no, I'm not gonna stop playing, but God, I'm gonna be more hesitant to like hop on. I hate bugs with a passion, dude. I swear.
Hopefully, these new assault weapons will be good. I want them to give me like a heavy penetrating weapon though.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of these weapons don't really hit like how they should. Like I bought the grenade launcher, and it's kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I think I got used to the breaker too much, because it just shreds everything like paper, man.
Have you tried what is it called? The Punisher?
No, I don't think so.
It's like the first shotgun that you can buy from the War Bonds.
I may have tried it like a couple of times, I think, but I don't think I fell in love with it, like with the breaker. I want to try out the slugger though, so I got to get these medals up.
Yeah, I want to buy that too.
We gotta run more sevens.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm down because I need these samples.
Same. I just hate randoms so much. So like some of them know what to do, but others are just like, man, I don't know who let you buy this game. We're supposed to cooperate.
Most of my frustration comes from like, yeah, I would agree with you. Like really just lack of awareness. You know, like when I'm trying to do my personal orders and I'll be like on a low difficulty, like 3 or 4, how am I going to get a random level 20 that joins me, knowing that they had to have played more than a handful, more than definitely their fair share of missions to actually understand and get up to 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And still you suck ass and you waste all of my reinforcements, and then get all pissy at me when it comes down to it, and I have like 3 reinforcements left, and I have to kick you after all of these samples that I wasn't even going for, like all these common samples that I did not need, by the way. You just try to waste all of my lives for just to get, like, it's so annoying.
Like when they join up and then they don't, like, they just keep dying and they get fucking just rage quit, just lose, and they just leave you with just 1 life left. Like, come on, man.
Yep.
We're trying to help each other out. I'm trying to help you out, but you just have to fucking reinforce me. Sorry, that's that was real.
No, I know. I know you just be waiting there. You be waiting and you watch them as they're just walking. It's not like they're in the middle of a fight. They're not in the middle of a fight or anything. They're just walking. They're like,
They got enough time to put in the fucking input, dude. I love Helldivers.
The game is great. It's my favorite.
So it was a sad day in manga history with Akira Toriyama passing. Creator of Dragon Ball, everything you love about Super Saiyans and Kamehamehas. She's now up there training with King Kai. May you rest in peace.
Honestly, yeah, rest in peace, my childhood. Sad as shit.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm getting back into the entire Dragon Ball series right now. I gotta thank Twitch for that. The abuse of terms of service is really what's helping me out in this time. Because everybody just playing. Well, they were playing Dragon Ball, but I'm pretty sure they're going like even harder now because of this news.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind. I would love to get my hands on like the dub version for Dragon Ball. I don't know if this resonates with you, but it's like when evening sets and it goes from completely bright, like the sun was right over your head, to just barely setting over the mountain, and you just see the light just get just a little bit dimmer. It's like a permanent dimness now that he's gone. Since that day, bro, that's how I feel.
Wow. Wow.
My whole view.
That was beautiful. Yeah, for sure. Like the world does feel emptier now that he's gone. Sure, I think Danny wasn't. I think Danny said he wasn't writing it anymore, or was he drawing it? Writing, yeah. But still, like, you can't deny the impact he's had on like an entire nation of people. Mexico.
Dude,
did you see that plaza showing of the fucking Dragon Ball Super movie with like just a bunch of Mexicans just in a plaza just watching the movie, and Nintendo said no not I'm sorry, not Nintendo. Was it Funimation?
Toei
or Toei?
Toei, yeah.
Funimation. They said no, you can't do that, but they said fuck you guys, and they did it anyway.
Oh yeah, they can do it anyway. What are they gonna do? It's not gonna go to Mexico and do anything about it themselves.
You're gonna deny a people their culture? So yeah, I'll be watching Dragon Ball a lot more now. I was gonna start reading it, but I think I'm done picking up new manga for now. I got the stuff you got mentioned, Danny mentioned, and then my own stash. But I'll just watch Dragon Ball. Honestly, it's not now that there are no fucking commercials, and now that like it's continuous episodes. Like there's no waiting for shit. You can just like pop in. Oh, there's a cell fight. It's gonna actually. They're actually gonna fight and finish within the next hour, not within the next couple weeks. That's crazy.
Hell yeah. That is the best part, honestly. I would like I guess like not really because it's streamed, but more like a supercut where just like scenes are kind of cut, snipped and placed into making more sense and just kind of have like a better flow of how it should have been. Because I feel like a lot of scenes in Dragon Ball Z could use some of that. Can use some snippets, replacements on how a lot of those episodes were just kind of playing out. Some of it didn't make sense to me sometimes.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. Just to have it all like consecutive, the events consecutive, like they did with that Lord of the Rings movie, where they put all 3 movies together and like they made it make sense. I think still gotta watch that one, or not like it didn't make sense in the beginning, but just like make it seem like the timeline is less choppy. That'd be pretty nice to have with Dragon Ball for sure.
Who was your favorite Dragon Ball Z character? Or Dragon Ball character, I'm sorry.
In
the series, like the entire
series?
As a whole.
Fuck. Oh, damn, man. I don't even know. I really liked Boo, but the evil Boo version, when he's just transforming constantly from like Super Boo to Pickle Boo. The fact that he...
Is the evil Boo that you're talking about, is that the dark colored one, or you mean like when he's like...
Yeah, the one after the dark color.
He absorbed both of them, right?
Yeah, when he's both of them, yeah.
Okay.
just because of the fact that like he could take in the personality of whoever he's absorbing and shit. Like Piccolo was a close second for Dragon Ball Z when he took in Nail, and Dende like fucking picked up on that shit. I'm like, damn, that's just because like Piccolo is a lot more brash now for some reason, and he's like, oh fuck, that's Nail. That was pretty cool. I like that whole. I fucking love the whole fusion thing they got going on in the Dragon Ball universe.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know. And then like I want to say Baby as well because Baby was just too OP. I'm a big villain guy.
Baby. No, I feel you on that. There were a couple characters that stood out to me. I don't know if you remember that Namek that was like that was dead. Like he shows up in the Janemba movie, and I think like in one or two arcs before that, when Goku has to like fight a tournament when he's dead. I don't remember his name, but it was like it started with a P. I want to say it almost sounded like Piccolo's name, but it was something different.
The character Oscar's referring to is PyCon, and that was during the Buu Saga Otherworld tournament stuff. Also a fan favorite. I really wished he showed up in Fighters. Hopefully when they do a Fighters 2, he'll show up. But another big point is he's not Namekian. He's just some other alien race. He's just also with green skin. And I could see the similarities just because even with the outfit, it's very similar to Piccolo's. But yeah.
Honestly, my favorite character was probably Vegeta. To be honest,
that's a good pick.
Like Vegeta to me was just like one of the coolest dudes in the world, and it wasn't just his Widow's Peak. Like I honestly just thought he was just so.
No man,
badass,
it's not a Widow's Peak. It's a V for Vegeta. He had a bunch of lows for sure, but then his highs were just monumental, just because of that fact that he had such bottom lows. Like when he didn't want to kill Buu, or when he didn't want to destroy Buu's egg. Because he wanted to fucking fight Buu or whatever.
Yeah.
He fucking dropped the ball on that shit. He killed a lot of people because of that. And then he realized that shit when he was fucking talking to Trunks. I'm like, oh man, here comes his rising. Vegeta's rising. Then he died, but it's still like for nothing. But still like the emotion was there, and it's powerful enough to change him, I guess. So yeah, Vegeta's a awesome pick.
Oh, man. Just so many good moments from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z all together that it's definitely gonna be with me the rest of my life. It's gonna be literally burned into my brain like a CDR burning music. It's just got a permanent place in my head right next to all the SpongeBob memes.
Oh man, you know what? Yeah, you know what? They're right next door to each other. They're fucking neighbors. Like when somebody tells you do the Kamehameha, your hands automatically know what to do. Somebody tells you to use the Gallic gun, you know what to do. It's nuts. If you want an instant transmission somewhere, you know what to do.
Before we move on, I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in there about the passing of Akira Toriyama. Last episode, I said, I just hate Toriyama because of the way he's writing right now, and I'm glad that he's really not writing Super. But that's just because of where the end of DBZ and where we're at in Super is just so different. But come on, man, growing up, Dragon Ball Z was the thing. I've told it to coworkers and people so many times. You have no idea how Dragon Ball Z has shaped the minds of young men in America when it was on Toonami. Oh man, watching Dragon Ball Z, going on the internet and just watching every single AMV, looking up what the hell is Dragon Ball V, this light novel fanfic set after GT. Holy shit, dude, Dragon Ball AF's a thing. This is so awesome. And playing Tenkaichi 2 growing up, so much so that if I put the disc in my PS2, it's gonna lag because of how worn out it is, because of the hours I've put into that game. It's very sad to see him pass. I mean, heck, I'm drinking the Gohan G Fuel flavor right now as I'm editing this podcast. And that's just the surface. It's really crazy to think that without Akira Toriyama, so much wouldn't exist, right? Like, he literally invented the modern formula for shonen manga. It's really crazy. We wouldn't get the big three and everything else that is inspired from that. And that's just the manga side of his career, right? We didn't even talk about Dragon Quest and just so much more he's done throughout his entire career. It's crazy. Not a lot of people have done what he's done to an industry like that, right? It's just wild. The fact that multiple countries' governments had official announcement of his passing and to mourn him in respects. You know, it's very crazy how far we've come from him drawing Dr. Slump and all this gag manga to, you know, having the whole world pause with his passing.
It's like Naruto, you know, with like the hand sign bullshit.
Oh my God. Speaking of hand signs, just really quick, just so that we can talk about it. Why is it that some ninjas have to complete like a whole paragraph in sign language, and then like the super experienced ones only have to do like the two fingers, you know, just the one pose, and it's like the same thing. Like, I never really understood that.
Same thing with Harry Potter. Like some people knows how to just use spells in their head, and then they just flick the wand and throw it, and other people is like reducto and all that shit, and they just fucking say the name. And when that's wild. I'm like, is it just a power thing where you don't have to do the full thing to actually do what you're supposed to do? That's a good point to bring up. Like, bro, you have.
And it's funny because they only talk about that stuff in manhwas.
Yeah.
Like, I've only ever seen manhwa talk about like, oh, he was so powerful he didn't even need to hear the cantation. Like, he didn't need to say it out loud. And I'm like, nobody else ever points that shit out, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's the anime rules.
Whatever. I'm here for it either way. I was the grind bit in Tekken.
Oh man. Okay. Like I was playing with our friend last night, and we were having some great matches. Like they were all fun. But the moment like I hop on to ranked and try to work on my ranking, like everybody just decides to be a bitch. Like dude, everybody every time I hop in to ranked, I get like one good match. I'm like, cool, yeah. Yeah, want a rematch? Oh yeah, for sure. Then it's a 1-1. Then it's a 1-1. I'm like, this is a match for sure. Those are the matches. I'm like, all right, this is a good match. I like this guy. This guy's a good person. Like I could tell all of that by like just how they fight. Like if they don't continue their combo after like the round is over, that's a good player. You know, if you don't teabag, that's a good player. If it's like a 1-1 and it's all like just respectful, dude, like I want to shake this person's hand. 90% of the time, everybody's big brother hops on the sticks and then just like decides to show their little sibling what a real fighting game player does, and they just proceed to fucking throw me to one edge of the arena to the other.
They showed you what they learned in training mode, huh?
What about me?
You always it's the SpongeBob meme. I'm telling you, bro. Like I just forget everything I learn in training mode instantaneously. As soon as the pressure's put on me, I'm like, oh no, dude, I'm up against the wall. And then cue the Hello Darkness, my old friend song. I'm just getting beaten to smithereens.
I will say it's a good time though when I fight another Yoshimitsu, because I learned some new stuff that I could probably do. Stuff that's not in like training mode, you know. It's like stuff that you kind of learn on the fly. You learn what launches what, and then what you can follow up with that. It's weird. I came into this Tekken game a different player than I did like in the past games. I don't know. Like I'm more. I guess I'm more like I'm more intuitive now and technical with how to respond with a lot of these bitch plays. Like a lot of people forget the lows. Never forget the lows. The lows are almost always open, dude. If there's somebody that blocks my lows, oh man, I pretty much lost the match already.
Pretty quick frames too, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Like you got to be on it, especially with like the first move. I like to launch sometimes. That's my first move, and it's super quick if I get it frame perfect. But sometimes like they get it before me.
Dude, I feel like I can understand the bare basics of fighting games, combo, timing, juggling, things like that. And then we get into like the math for fighting games, like being positive or negative on block, frame advantage, things like that. I feel like, and I don't know if you can agree with me here, but there's like a measure of difficulty in knowing that you are going to need to start having to put in like an actual effort to retain it, almost like it's educational. Well, it is educational, but not like rudimentary education, just like education on the game. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like it's just like when I'm in high school, like, and I have like that weariness of wanting to study or do homework, and I'm like, bro, I kind of don't give a fuck about frame block or frame advantage, negative or positive frames. Like I just want to play the game. Like, if I get
Yeah.
really too far nitty gritty into this, like, I'm gonna hate it. But I understand, like, you also can't be ranked. Like, you cannot be good without it at the same time, and I guess that's kind of irritating, because I don't think that it always used to be like that. But I guess I was probably wrong. Like, I think of Mortal Kombat 1 or, like, just, like, Street Fighter 1, you know, like, really old games. And I think, sure, there's probably, like, frames involved, you know, like, frame 7, frame things like that. Plus on block or, like, things like that. I don't think that, you know, fighting games at the time had really incorporated all of that into actually making it matter. So I kind of wish games like that would be simplified.
It can be. I guess it's just, I don't know. It's a matter of perspective. Like, if you would have told me, it's sort of like, it's the deeper you look into it, of course, the more detailed it's gonna be. But like on the outside, bro, you can just mash buttons and you'll be fine. Like it depends on what character it is for sure, though. Like a lot more are more technical than they should be. But like some characters allow you to mash buttons like crazy. Like back when I started playing Jack, oh my god, all I did was mash like the square triangle left rights, and I was just unstoppable. At the same time, like the more you know what to do with the character, I feel like the more susceptible you are to get fucking punished. Just because like you know what you're doing and they probably don't know what you're doing, and you know how they can punish you. Whereas when you're just mashing, you just don't know what the fuck is going on. And in turn, neither does your opponent, so you're just getting them with all the lows and highs. So I think it's like a matter of like how, like if you're a dev, of course you're gonna be looking at this technical. But like if you're just like a casual player, then it's fun, you know, until you get like reset at a wall, and then the combo continues. But I still have fun when I lose. I think that's the biggest takeaway.
I think, yeah, if you have your optimism, you have to be optimistic, I guess, when you think about it, because if not, then you're just gonna want to rage quit. But in this case, then yeah, because I feel like you can learn from people's cheese, learn how to, you know, get away from a certain combo, especially with popular characters. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've seen plenty of Kazuya matches to know some of his bread and butters, not all of them, of course, but just enough for me to just kind of have a good resemblance of like, okay, watch out for a lot of these mediums, like these medium startups, you know. He doesn't really have a lot of low startups or whatever. Like let's say the person I was watching doesn't use a lot of low startups, you know. So I would probably just aim that way. Tekken 8 is like super nuanced, where even if you do mash buttons, it's like you'll end up doing less damage than if you actually perform the combo with perfect timing. And so it does let you get away with a lot of stuff, even as casual. I think probably the most satisfying thing I can think of as a new player to Tekken would be to just pull off like a complete string for a king combo. Just grab after grab after grab after grab after grab until his health is just all the way done. Like that to me would probably be something that I would say like, yeah, I did that. Like my nipples are hard when I think about stuff like that, you know? Pulling off an entire king string, that doesn't make your nipples hard? Come on.
I love losing like that. Honestly, just take me around the world. It's over. Take me for a ride. With the king, I can respect because it's mad. What do you call it? It's mad technical. Try to get the grabs in. I haven't played him, so I don't know how different it is this time. But back then, getting the inputs just to take them around the world was fucking hard, man.
Honestly, I feel like aside from Street Fighter 4, King was the first like character that really made me want to get into grab commands. I've never seen a more agile and like. The way he just fights with finesse. That's what I really want to say. He's really agile and like just finesse. He just really makes grappling fun, you know?
He's so awesome.
He really is awesome.
And he wears a jaguar mask. God damn it.
He's Latino, and when he speaks, he's technically speaking Spanish, but he roars like a jaguar. So if you think about it, when he roars like a jaguar, it's still him speaking Spanish. He's just speaking jaguar in Spanish.
Canonically, he likes drinking coffee. He was asked by Azucena, of course, like she asked everybody, ¿Cuál es tu... I don't know, dude. What's your favorite kind of drink?
Que favor de café.
Yeah, and King went roar, and in the subs it said, "Coffee is the greatest thing to drink after a match." I like the little dialogue they have. Like some characters, if you fight them against each other, they have different cutscenes, so it's pretty cool. Like Jack with Elisa. Elisa bows, her head falls off, rolls in front of Jack. Jack picks it up, like tilts his head, and he throws it back on her shoulder.
Yeah, because they have a lot of character interactions, right?
I love that shit.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into that some more when I get Tekken 8.
Yeah, same. I can't wait till the DLC comes out.
When is Eddie coming? What is Eddie coming out?
I don't know. All I know is I'm picking him up.
If June is in the game, who knows? Unknown might show up in the game at some point.
Oh yeah, can't wait for that. If that's gonna happen, man, fuck. I want to see a June and Unknown together.
I would like if they maybe made like an extra mode, like a boss rush, with like different bosses that they can what do you call it? Like cycle out of rotation. So like 1 week it'll be like Ogre, the next week it'll be Azazel, and then it'll be Unknown.
Yeah.
So it'll just be like all the different bosses you Tekken. That would be cool.
The Heihachi, fuck.
Yeah, dude. Robo Heihachi since Heihachi's dead.
Yeah. Robo Heihachi. Oh my god, no way.
That would be a game changer, honestly.
We just got maybe a leak, accidental leak for the Spider-Man 2 boss for the next DLC.
Ooh.
You know how it was Carnage this DLC? It might be Beetle. I don't know what that is. Yeah, apparently it's gonna be Beetle in the new game. There's a Carnage DLC. If it's not out, it's coming out. Because of like the fucking leaks from Insomniac earlier, there was a developer menu that people could see that it just shows the entire next arc of another DLC. It just shows the names. You can't do anything about them. It just gives you the intro cutscene to, I guess it gives you the intro cutscene to it, and then but it just gives you a list that says Beetle villain arc. Right at the top, and it says Beetle Janus intro, Beetle reveal, Beetle construction, Beetle ambush, battlefield bridge, convoy hostages, and boss. It's gonna be the Beetle is Tombstone's daughter, and Tombstone was at the boss you fought in the first Spider-Man game.
Oh, he was like the side quest, right?
Yeah, the side quest boss.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember now.
The dude with the chain on fire. Yeah, apparently he has a daughter, and his daughter is gonna be the villain. She's gonna be like a cross between Captain America and Black Widow, kind of thing. So that's
rad.
It's gonna be combat heavy, I hope. So I just still got to pick up the game, and we're gonna see what it's about. I don't know when I'm gonna pick it up, honestly, but I do want to play it. This is one of those that I'm not gonna put back on the backlog. I want to actually swing. I need to swing around again. I miss that.
Yeah, as soon as you get it, you're gonna start playing it. I feel you on that.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want it to sound bad or anything, but like, I don't really think that you're missing much. It's not something that you have to pay full price for, obviously, because it's still, at the end of the day, it's still Spider-Man 1, you know? Just a little bit more stuff added to it, more costumes, more fighting. But, you know, I think that, I'm not really like to say that it was deserved, that it didn't get any awards or anything like that, but I'm just also thinking to myself, you know, like, it wasn't necessarily game changing when you made the second one. There wasn't anything like that you added to it that was, I guess, to me, worth a new award. Again, with that being said, I don't really feel like it needs to be something that you needed to pick up like as soon as it came out. As it comes, you know, I'm sure that it'll go on sale, or it'll possibly just be free to plus at some point, and then there's your chance to get it right then and there.
That's funny. That Insomniac said they're gonna fix the developers menu pretty soon, but it's already out there, man. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Mario Day was May 10th, which was yesterday, as we're recording this
March 10th.
podcast. March 10th, sorry, yeah. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, it's funny. I was looking at the deals that they have on Best Buy and on Nintendo, the Nintendo store, for Mario Day. I feel like I was a little too hopeful. I thought that this was actually going to be like a pretty good deal this year. They're only taking $20 off of Mario titles. I want to say, unless it was a really old game that was already pre-owned, you know, they're never going to bring down like a new Nintendo game below $60 or $40. It's crazy to me, you know. Mario Kart 8 is like on sale, $20 off. So that game is like what, $60? So it's like $40. and I think about how old that game is, relatively speaking, how many players that game still has as of right now. Would you pay $60 or $40 for Mario Kart for a game that's practically been out for like, I don't know, the better part of five years? You know what I mean? That's like saying like Bloodborne that came out like 10 years ago would still be $60 today.
Yeah.
I think that's it's crazy. Like I love Nintendo, don't get me wrong, and I love Mario too. I just feel like they could have done better. Or I think it's about time that they do better when it comes to, you know, some of the specials that they can shell out here for these kind of days.
Those kind of days are over, worth $20-$40 games, man. It sucks. But, you know, Nintendo's already huge. They don't need to fucking make sales. We already got... They're making another movie on Super Mario Brothers. Illumination is. It's going to come out the 2026 on April 3rd. So, like, they're... I don't think they need sales. I think sales are for like the smaller companies. But Nintendo is like, fuck you guys. You guys are gonna pay for everything, and you're gonna like it.
That's the mindset that they're definitely on, unfortunately. And then it's like, yeah, you're right. You know, some people they're just gonna do it anyway. They don't really give a fuck.
No, it is what it is. You know, there's people gonna buy it anyway. Like me, I'll be one of them that'll buy like the double pack Mario Galaxy Super Mario Sunshine. If it ever comes out again, which probably won't, I'll buy that shit for full price. I don't give a damn.
That's a collector's item right there. And the fact that they didn't have to get rid of that game. They could have kept it digital. They could have. They just decided not to.
It's the L move, honestly.
If it's a scummy move or not.
For Mario Day, they're just re-releasing old games on the Switch Online store. There's Paper Mario Thousand Year Door coming out on May 23rd. Luigi Mansions 2 HD on 27th of June. And you got Dr. Mario, Mario Golf, and Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Colors out on March 12th, which is tomorrow on the online store. So we just got, I don't know, Mario's coming back to the current systems.
That is dope.
Happy Mario Day.
I would say probably the only good piece of news is Thousand Year Door. If you ever look up the price for the GameCube version of Thousand Year Door, it's like $100 or more. Guaranteed. Gross. Pre-owned, new, doesn't matter. If you want a copy of GameCube Thousand Year Door, you're going to pay out the ass for one. They bring that shit to digital, all of a sudden that shit no longer matters. So that is a W. I do appreciate that. Bringing the GameCube games back, that's fucking... I'm just waiting for Corruption, bro. We got Prime 1. I need Prime 2. Echoes? What is it? Echoes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Echoes.
And then I want Corruption. Because I've never played Corruption. I always wanted to play it. I just didn't want to play it on the Wii.
When is Samus Day? God damn it. I want my Samus games. God, man, Metroid was such a good game.
I do genuinely like all of the Metroid games. Dread was really good.
I like going back to that 2D platformer, but at the same time, like, I like seeing all the fucking map. I like knowing where I am. The Game Boy one for Super Metroid 2, I tried playing that and beating it, and I was so lost, man. I don't know where. I had no idea where to go. I made it a good way too before fucking Honestly, I never figured that game out. I think I was just like walking through it, opening doors, and then I fought a Metroid. And the whole point of that, the Game Boy game was you have to kill, I think, 32 Metroids, and then you're out. So I fought a couple, and then I don't think it was that many, honestly. I think it was like 12 or 6. But like I fought a couple, and then I was just stuck. So I gave up. It's hard to tell with like the black and white pixelation, but it was fun if you knew what you're doing. You know, you could easily beat the game. But Game Boy was a different time, man. Maybe I was too technical for a simple game.
Well, I don't know, man, because, you know, and this is something that only like people our age I feel like can really resonate with, but like when you refer to the manual after just spending 20 or 30 minutes not knowing what the fuck to do, you just bust open your game case and you pull out that paperback manual and you're like, what did I miss here? And you hope to God that you find something in that manual. Otherwise, you're shit out of luck because we didn't have Google back then. And you're stuck asking your friends at school, hey, you got this game, you know what to do, I can't get past this part. There was one game that I had no idea what to do. Honestly, I want to say that it wasn't my fault. It was a Harry Potter game. for PlayStation, and I got pretty far into it, but I had to stop. And the one thing that I hated about PlayStation was that, of course, you needed the memory card, but like my parents weren't aware of memory cards. So like every time I would play a game, it's like I'm always starting over, no matter how many hours and stuff I'm putting into it. When I get to this part of the Harry Potter game, every single time, I just get so frustrated that I stop playing. Like, I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And what it was is the game asks you to basically have Harry fly, right? Like on the broom. And they want you to fly with L3 and R3. Looking at the game manual, looking at the PlayStation manual, nothing tells you where L3 and R3 were. It wasn't on the manual, because the manual at the time didn't have the DualShock controller. It had the other controller, the old one. So L3 and R3 weren't even a thing on that controller, so it didn't make sense for them to put it on the manual. Again, like I would be frustrated for months, like constantly playing this game, spending hours and wasting my time getting to the same point every day just to constantly have to stop. There's a big difference with how tutorials are played now for new games and like compared to how they were back then. That's definitely one thing I can tell you for sure. I'm glad though, because honestly that's just bad game design, I think.
Yeah, it depends, I guess. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I've been watching a lot more anime recently. Mark actually recommended me an anime. I know that you said that your manga list is full. If you ever just like decide that you want to like zone out and like watch an anime or something while you're playing Helldivers or something, it wasn't a whole list that he recommended me, but it's just one anime. I just want to make sure I got the name right. Have you seen any animes regarding? It's called villainous genres. Genres about villainesses.
Villainous? Does Witchblade count?
Not in that sense. It's more shonen. Okay, so the anime that I'm trying to recommend to you is called Villainous Level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. Okay? It's about this girl, and she's playing this, like, I guess you can call it, like, a fantasy dating sim type game. The main character is, like, a magic user who uses light magic. Basically, like, she knows the ins and out of the game because it's her favorite game, all that good stuff. And she ends up being reincarnated into the game. But she's not reincarnated as the main character. She's reincarnated as the hidden boss of the game. And the hidden boss of the game happens to be the girl who bullies her throughout the entire game, but was just like a boss in secret. You don't really get to fight her unless you do some like extra objectives, like how we expect from all RPGs, like maxing out character relationships and making sure you get to a high level and doing side quests and stuff like that. So they haven't really gotten into that so far. It's just a matter of just knowing that, hey, like, you're not the main character, you're actually the hidden boss. The entire plot of the anime, for the most part, when it starts, is she wants to stop this version of the game from happening, where she becomes a bad guy. She basically wants to make it so that she's basically left alone, so she doesn't become the hidden boss, and she can just do whatever she wants and just be at peace. But obviously, it doesn't end up going that way because she's the main character. Her ability, her magic is also unique. Like, it's the opposite of the main characters. She's got dark magic. The entire show, I feel like, is just really about her trying to like become accustomed in her new life, and also try to make it so that she's like unbothered. You know what I mean? One of the funny things about this anime to me is like she's got like gamer tendencies. So like in this world she can actually level up, and she gets super carried away. So when she starts grinding to level up, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna level up a few just so that way I can keep on my toes. I don't have to be super powerful, but I also don't want to be weak either. Like I just want to be able to hold my own, and that's it." And the moment she starts, she goes way too far, and she's like, "I'm just gonna keep grinding. I don't give a fuck. I love grinding. Grinding is like the best thing." And eventually, she just becomes max level, just like the name of the show implies. So like it's it's really funny watching her like already at max level, like trying to have to like interact with all these other people who are like level 1 and shit like that. It's a really great show. I'm not really giving it as much justice as I am just explaining most of the stuff to you. But there are a lot of interesting characters in the show, too. She's kind of emotionless, so you can already imagine, like, a whole bunch of reactions that she would have are kind of, like, misplaced. She's just one of those kind of main characters that'll just make you laugh from kind of how autistic she is, but how OP she is at the same time. And that's I would definitely recommend that.
That sounds like my deal.
I would definitely recommend it, man. Like I said, Mark recommended it to me. When I started watching it, I watched one episode, and then I immediately got hooked, and I just watched it all until I got caught up.
One last thing I'll bring up before we bring this show to a close is the other sad news from the week that Rooster Teeth is shutting down after 21 years of being up. You know, Rooster Teeth is one of those weird things these days where nobody really talks about it. Everyone always says, you know, they've just changed and no one cares anymore. I'm still a fan. Gerry is also somewhat still a fan, but not in the capacity as it was back in the day, right? Since the pandemic, they focused hard on podcasting, so they have so many new shows, and that's where I really consume most of the RT content. I've given stuff a chance, and, you know, a lot of it's hit or miss. You know, one of the biggest critiques is, oh man, everyone's gone. Like, I don't recognize anybody here at Rooster Teeth anymore. And it's like, well, yeah, because you stopped, 10 years ago when they were at the peak? Of course, a lot of people that you recognize is probably gone. Best Friends Today was like a big thing. Like, I never checked them out, but I've always seen clips and stuff, and I know they were pretty popular. But yeah, Warner Discovery just doing what they do best, or what they do worst, I should say, by just shutting down stuff, deleting stuff and all that. And Rooster Teeth is just one of the casualties, but, you know, it was almost to be expected. They were struggling hard. You know, they had this huge thing coming up about pushing more with RT First, which is their, you know, subscription thing, which it's still crazy to me, you know, looking back at it, that it was still only $60 a year, right? Like about $5 a month or whatever, to be subscribed and get all the content from everybody. You know, Rooster Teeth, Funhouse, and Dog Bark, all the other things, just everything they pump out at that company, boom, $5 a month, you get it. For a while, that was one thing I've always kind of missed about, I guess you could say, like cable or networks and stuff like that, is that, yeah, you want to contribute and support so many people you follow, but it's hard to keep track when everybody does $5 a month at Patreon. Seeing that low price still to this day was really incredible, but as we saw, there were drawbacks, and yeah, they weren't deemed profitable anymore and decided to just get shut down. It's not over yet. They still have 2 months to slowly turn everything off and see where everything goes on. I watched the live stream for RT, and basically, like, towards the end, they explained that, like, yeah, I mean, we'll see. They're being very open with us, and if some of these people here at RT want to continue the stuff they've been doing, they're going to try to find a way to let that happen outside of Warner Discovery and Rooster Teeth as a whole, which is very crazy that, you know, this big company is looking at this small internet thing and saying, like, okay, yeah, we're going to shut you down, but don't worry, like, we'll help you settle things and see where it goes in the future. That's wild. And yeah, even at Funhouse, you know, it's crazy to think that that's also getting shut down. I recently got back into the Funhouse content towards the middle of last year, and it's super good stuff. All those people there are great. And they mentioned in their live stream that, yeah, if they didn't push, like, the membership thing on YouTube, that they probably weren't going to be continuing Funhouse from that point forward. So that's also a big crazy thing. It just sucks. I think the big takeaway I got was from Charlie, you know, Critical. His thoughts on it was pretty much my thoughts. Is like, yeah, it's just the type of content that RT kept doing just isn't popular anymore in both audience and algorithmic sake. I hopped on the RT YouTube channel, right, to watch the live stream, just because it was just right there. I'm on YouTube, and, you know, you look at the channel history, they haven't been posting anything there. You know, like, they still do stuff, but it's all behind the paywall, and there are other channels and stuff like Fuckface, Face Jam, Stinky Dragon, right? There's just a lot of production going on over there, but it's just not on their main channel anymore. And even, like, the view count on only 157K last I checked. And that was already like 5 days after the live stream. And I mean, I also get it too, though. It's almost a 2-hour video. So like, who's going to sit there and watch it when you could go watch like your favorite YouTuber explain what's going down? But still, you know, like you always hear like, yeah, the downfall of RT. And I get it to a point, but there was still a lot to be a fan of. And it just sucks to see them like finally go, you know, and I'm way behind on listening to podcasts and just hearing the early stuff in January and like all these plans that they're teasing about and thinking about. It's like, oh damn, like that. It really sucks we're not really gonna see the full fruition of that. I mean, even with the Let's Play stuff, like Fuckface is taking over that channel, and they just announced something like 2 days before they got the letter from Warner Discovery at the meeting. So yeah, just a real shame to see, you know, love or hate it, you know, it is another genre defining industry thing that, you know, came out like early internet, and they really shaped a lot of stuff. But unfortunately, you know, that type of content just couldn't stick around anymore. So that really sucks. You know, I'm still going to listen to these podcasts if they keep going and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like, obviously, RWBY, as much as people hate it, it's too big to just be gone forever. That's like one of the big things Warner Discovery is going to keep, probably. Just see what they're going to be able to do with it. But yeah, I just want to throw that there because it's like a really big thing. And, you know, being a fan, it's just like, oh yeah, that kind of sucks. You know, just kept looking forward to more content. Yeah, so that's all I really had to say on the RT stuff. Just a real shame to see them go.
All right, well, I think that about does it for this week. Any sort of questions, comments, anything that you guys want to mention to us, you guys know where to reach out to us. Unversed podcast at gmail.com. And we will see you guys next time.